Shalom. I'd like to share some insights with you today on the weekly Torah portion of Noach from my apartment here in Tel Aviv. The insights I'll be sharing with you for the most part come from my book, Deep Waters by Rabbi Arnie Singer, which is available on Amazon.com. In this week's Torah portion of Noach, the Torah explores two different reactions of man to the challenges of civilization. When Noah is faced with a society degenerated to the point of total breakdown, his reaction is to isolate himself. In fact, although the Torah calls Noah a tzaddik, rabbinic commentators castigate him for not reaching out to society in general, but instead just saving himself and his immediate family. Noah builds for himself a teva, which is usually translated as ark. However, the Hebrew translation of the word teva is box. Noah built for himself a box in which he isolated himself and his family in order to save them from the flood, but ignored the rest of society. The Noah model, therefore, of dealing with this challenge of society is isolationism, living inside a box. Later on in the Parsha, the Torah describes a society which strove for complete unity at the expense of the identity of its individual members. The objective was total assimilation, one language, one culture, one belief system, and one personality. This society was called Bavel by the Torah. Bavel means total assimilation, or melting pot, if you will. The Bavel model of dealing with society is total assimilation to the extent of totally negating the individual to achieve societal uniformity. This model, as the Torah describes, failed disastrously. It's only with the introduction of Abraham in next week's Torah portion that the Torah finally gives us a successful model of how to interact with society. The Abraham model takes the middle path between the Noah and Bavel extremes. Abraham is not afraid to stand up to society, a world of idolatry, in his solitary belief in the one God. He's not afraid that he will be assimilated into their idolatrous persuasions. He wants to share his ideas of monotheism with them. However, Abraham is very strong and fortified in his ideals and will not take any of the teachings of the idolatry to disrupt his own beliefs. The Abraham model teaches us to be as powerful as a fortress in our own beliefs and be confident in them, but be confident enough to be able to interact with the outside world without the fear of losing our own identity. By following this middle path, Abraham was able to change the world in an amazing way, something Noah and Bavel could not do. It's often easier to take the extreme path. In fact, in today's world, extremism, fundamentalism is running rampant. Being in the middle is difficult because it forces us to constantly evaluate whether to accept or reject outside influences. We can't just isolate ourselves in a box. We have to deal with the outside world, process what society is throwing at us, and choose the good and the bad. Taking the middle path requires the knowledge with which to evaluate other ideas and the fortitude to make honest decisions and to live by them. But it's also the most rewarding path when undertaken successfully, because it allows us to enjoy the best of both worlds. Thank you, and have a Shabbat Shalom.